Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the League of Legends Season 1 Championship. I'm Freak. I'm joined here with Joe Miller.
Hello there.
Quick shout-out to the 178,000 viewers online.
There's a few.
Some ridiculously large number. Wow. That's a lot
really,
of people.
Respect.
Yeah, you guys are freaking awesome. Shout out to those of you who decided, hey, we're going to host a Season 1 party, like bring friends over, order pizza, like put it on the big screen TV. Like, I know of stories of people doing like epic things to prepare for this. That is super awesome. So good news for everyone who's now waking up in the States. It's 7 p.m. or 1900 here, so people in the West and East Coast in the U.S. are starting to wake up on their weekends. And so I guess the NA viewership is growing in perfect time because we've got Team Solomid versus Counterlogic Gaming. Probably the most storied North American matchup since ever, basically. These have been the top two dominant North American teams for a very, very long time. And they're back in the spotlight once more. Reginald's always been the leader of one of those top American teams. He's the leader of Team Solomid. Counterlogic Gaming, really mostly unchanged as we've seen them about a year ago. Elements, Chowster, Hotshot GG, Big Fat LP. One quick switch up they did, not drop, but Kobe24 is a sub now, and St. Vicious is their starting jungler. Otherwise, a pretty much unchanged lineup since a full year ago. But these are really the two most storied North American teams. And they're super strong, and actually right away into the picks and bans. Yeah, they're just ready to go on that one. And the first ban, unsurprising, Needly dropped out. KX banning out Needly. Don't want to give that one to Hotshot GG for pretty obvious reasons. And now Chas is going to be the team captain to do picks and bans for CLG's side.
Yeah, and I feel a little bit sorry for Hotshot GG because he's never going to get to show his Needly skills off in any tournament ever. No, never. No one in their right mind won't ban it.
Well, yeah, that's what you do in a tournament, is you learn those champions. So, Puts of Fate banned out by CLG. Pretty good choice there. North America, super afraid of Twisted Fate and TSM. Reginald can, in fact, play a good TF, so that's the ban there.
So, second ban coming up here momentarily for TSM. And if you're only just joining us and you're wondering, how this whole system's working, obviously each team gets 30 seconds to choose each ban and
60 seconds.
60 seconds for their picks. Okay, thanks for clearing that one up. I've only seen it 10 times already today, but that's fine.
No worries.
And Rumble banned as the second one for TSM. So another one that the North American team seem to be a little bit afraid of.
Yeah, and actually, Big Fat LP has actually been training Rumble recently, so basically forced that ban. If he hadn't been practicing him, it wouldn't have happened. Vladimir banned out, again, aimed at Reginald so far, so double mage bans so far from CLG. Afraid of pretty much TSM star player Reginald. But for what it's worth, in the group so far, Game.de and Zan both 1-1 so far on groups, tied up. Zan getting their win over Team Solomid, who's 0-1 so far. Game.de getting their win over Zan and getting their loss to CLG. CLG 1-0. New band out for TSM, strong jungler pick, and we got one more band to go to the pick start.
Yep, and obviously 20 seconds still left to pick that one, and it should be coming in here any second. And as you mentioned, these two teams so familiar with each other, and it's quite nice to see them playing on LAN in Europe, actually. Not something we see. And Zillion will be the third. Wow,
every single ban aimed at Reginald. I'm sure he'll probably talk about that in the post-game interview. I almost guarantee it. So that's I think it's kind of cute, actually, that all three bans are aimed at one player on the team. I guess they're not really afraid of Raymond's Cho'Gath. Oh, fast. Wow, fast Bane. Okay.
Yeah, I think they may be a little bit scared somewhat of Reginald coming into this one. Obviously trying to single him out a little bit. Yeah, so Vayne the first pick for TSM. Obviously the system now, CLG will get 2 picks. Yep. And then it will go back over to TSM to pick 2. I know for some of you guys who've been watching out all day and obviously playing to a high level, you know this stuff already, but I know there will definitely be some people out there who aren't familiar with competitive League of Legends play as well, so we should try and include them.
Yeah, interesting picks right here, actually. So yeah, it's a drop-in system. Both teams get to ban out 3 champions apiece, so that neither team can pick them. The rest of the picks are exclusive drafts. So, now that Vayne's been taken, the CLG cannot pick Vayne. Now that Warwick and Sona have been grabbed, TSM cannot pick those champions. And again, we're seeing Sona, the extremely early pick from CLG. That's probably going to be Elements playing her. But CLG seems to really love Sona so far. I mean, 2 for 2 is not exactly statistically significant, but really big into that Sona there. I'm kind of intrigued by the early Warwick pick because Amumu is still in there, Trundle is in there. I guess Warwick allows them to counter jungle Amumu. Amumu's a bit of an unsafe jungler, so with Warwick you get to jump into the enemy jungle and do some really cool things there. Also, it might force TSM to grab Trundle instead, which you know they're not afraid to do. Odd1 a great Trundle player. But, okay, here we go. Special picking up Jarvan for the team. That's probably going to get dropped onto the Rain Man. Actually, that might get swapped to Chaos? No, Chaos is going to play ranged AD. Chaos will be Vayne. I don't know, some interesting things going on. Odd1 still left to pick. He's going to grab Cow. So Alistar going to be picked up pretty much for the 5th game in a row now in this tournament.
Yeah, it's good to see. I like to see Alistar. I mean, we see some great ganks from him in that last game, or not the last game, but the one before that we were sat down here for. We saw some great Alistar play there, and always a pleasure to see. So they're going to be the next 2 picks for TSM, then it'll go over to CLG for another 2 picks before it comes back over to TSM.
And, I'm intrigued to see that, I always thought Carrick was kind of the support to beat, that he seemed to be the strongest one. He's got that amazing landing with that range stun. He's got auras on 2 of his abilities to really buff up the team, but he seems to not be that highly contended pick. It seems that Sona is rising to the top as the top support champion for most of these games. No, that's going to be a nice crowd favorite. Anivia being picked up probably for Big Fat LP. We're going to see if Chowster has put on a different ranged AD. They could give him Corki. He's a great Corki player. If I were drafting for CLG, that's probably what I would do, but of course they know much better than I. So we'll see what that ends up being. But the jungler's been picked up, the support's been picked up. Swain, so that's going to be probably on Hotshot GG. So they're really, really loving Swain so far. And I guess with that tanky DPS pickup from Xpecial, no, Malzahar, still Hotshot GG's pick. He's probably going to pick that second mage. And they're still going to have Corki or maybe even Ashe available for Chowster to play. But actually a little bit surprised by Hotshot. It's probably Hotshot being Malzahar, because last time we saw him on Malzahar, he didn't do so well, but he's always been doing well on Swain. Certainly, they perform different roles on teams, but I really just haven't seen him actually play Malzahar that well at this level of play. It's a little bit surprising to me.
Well, final 2 picks coming out for TSM. Going to be Nocturne and Annie, at least for now. That seems to be the case. Obviously, they do have a bit of time, 60 seconds for these 2 picks, and they could end up changing them. If some people are wondering, they look at this and think, okay, why is the usual jungler guy not have smite? Then they can actually switch the champions around. The draft system allows that so that you can pick, whatever order you are in the team, you can pick which you want first in, your priority picks, just to clear that up, because I'm sure there'll be some questions about that as well. Yeah,
so interesting. It's not going to be Jungle Cow, it's going to be Roam Cow. That'll be Xpecial. And then the Rain Man, or not Rain Man, sorry, he's picked Nocturne, but he'll trade that out to the Odd One. And there's the Corki pickup. So huge damage lineup right here. These are all offensive-based champions, so the swap's going to get underway. Really, really powerful lineups on both sides. I think CLG outpicked Team Solomid here. Got Malzahar, Corki, Warwick, Anivia, and Sona. This is a team that is actually really, really strong. They have two suppression champions, Warwick and Malzahar. It's a stun that can only be broken by Quicksilver Sash and Alistar's ultimate on this lineup so far. So those are the only ways to get out of Warwick or Malzahar's stun is going to be buying that QSS or by having to be the Alistar. And I don't think they're going to go and focus Alistar. That'd be kind of silly. So they'll probably get away with that pretty well. But there's Chowster on Corki, Hotshot GG and Malzahar, same vicious jungling on Warwick, Big Fat LP on Anivia. So he's kind of a crowd favorite there. The forums, they have favorite players, and they have these champions they're really good at, and it's basically Big Fat LP playing Anivia or Ashe. It's Chowster on Corki, Hotshot GG on Needly, which we never get to see, but certainly a strong player. He's going to be Malzahar this time. Elements getting relegated to that support role. It's always sort of funny to see players who are strong solo queue players. People generally like to pick carries, and they run around, and Elm's a good mage player, and he's like, no, you're a support this game, buddy. You're going to play support.
Have fun.
You can press W a bunch and heal our other players. And I always feel like there's almost some level of contrite belittling when you do that. Or you're like, no, you can play support. You can play support. It's okay.
Don't worry, next game you can have whoever you want, we promise. If we get there.
I'm sure it's not like that, right? But I don't know. I always think of it that way because I just play carries, and if someone else picks a carry, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll play John and shields you a bunch. But I don't know.
So anyway, an all-American affair.
Yes.
People said a little bit. I should say an all-North American affair. Yeah. Sorry. To any Canadians out there or Americans who are offended by being whatever. But this one you can't actually have too much of a bias on anyway, even if you wanted to. So Freak, who's going to win this game?
Why is this story now about me being biased? No, I'm sad. We had these great storylines going. Now it's just about me being... I'm sorry, okay.
We got better storylines. We're just saving them for later.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so I predicted before that CLG would end up being the number 2 team throughout the groups, but then again, they won against Games, so now they get to be, by default, the number 1 seed team. Zan did take that win over Team Solomid, so I got that one correctly. But it's up to Team Solomid. If they can win against CLG, then all bets are off, and it's going to be like this giant cluster of ties that I'll just have no idea what's going on anymore. So we're going to take it one game at a time. But I think the lineup from CLG, super strong. This is such a good lineup. I think they picked really, really well all the way through. I'm surprised by the early Warwick, but he's been working for him so far.
Yeah. That certainly has been the case. So I think we're almost ready to go there. You can see CLG on your screen, getting ready for the game. So let's get into it then. Let's have a big round of applause. It's the all North American affair, TSM versus CLG here in Group B.
Alrighty guys, and welcome back to the game. I'm following Chaos out of his base, or as his team likes to affectionately call him, Chow X. But he's going to move on with Vayne. He's got a Doran's Blade to open up. I could play the Guess the Runes and Masteries game, because I know you guys love that one where I missed all the fights, because I'm talking about, did he have 2 movement speed quits or 1? So we're going to pass on that one for now. Looks like CLG playing pretty defensively. Again, they keep putting that fast ward down at their own lizard camp, and then they play very, very safely. So they're camping at their own turret. Chowster camping right underneath it. Actually, he's starting to click because of that. That's going to be the nice clairvoyance drop there. Team Solomid knows CLG is playing defensively, and of course they don't get to do anything because of it. So now TSM going to just push on and into the river. Looks like who's going to lead the way? It's going to be Xpecial and the Rain Man going to be the 2 beefy guys up in front. CLG still playing defensively up at the top, way hidden away in the base. TSM could take a lot of these buffs right here if they wanted to. And it looks like they're just going to stay defensively instead, which I think is a small mistake, that obviously they don't have perfect information, but they really do have an easy chance of playing super aggressive and doing whatever they want.
Yeah, they have the chance for that, but as you mentioned, you know, this is a game maybe not only for the points in the group, but also for a lot of pride between these two sides.
Yeah. And actually, I was talking...
No risks.
Yeah. You're right. This game means a lot. You can get eliminated from the group. But I was talking with Reginald at the beginning of the day, right after Epic, led by his brother, had gone, I believe, 2-0 so far in the day, and he was like, man, I came to this event with no pressure because the Americans were kind of expected to lose and not do so well, but then he comes out 2-0 and suddenly like, oh, they're crushing faces, and I have, for obvious reasons, competition with my brother to do better than he does. Well, when your team goes 3-0, good luck matching that one. So now the pressure's really on for him to basically do as well as his older brother. But Xpecial waiting in the wings, trying to get a gank off onto Chowster, and this is going to be hard to watch because Nocturne's ganking onto Warwick, and he's going to find him right away. Looks like he's not going to chase in, though, afraid of that Anivia gank. But here comes Alistair up to the front. He's going to find Chowster. There's the stun, and the damage output is huge because there's the exhaust. Can Chowster fall? It's 1 hit from dead, and yes, he's going to pick up that first blood. KX picking that one up quite nicely. Elements not able to push Cow quite back in time. First blood is grabbed. Well played by TSM. That nice little cute thing there where they have the Cow basically take these 2 golems down here, gets free level 2, then he waits in the wings and gets a gank, and it worked beautifully. Exhaust on both sides, but it wasn't enough to stop that aggression. So 400 free gold on a Chaos, and that's going to mean a lot for these guys.
Yeah, great start there. And that will give TSM that 1-0 lead up at top. It's all pretty even. In the middle we saw actually Anu, of course, who's been played by Reginald, doing a fair bit of damage actually onto Big Fat LP's Anivia, and continues to try and keep him zoned out. And that's some great play actually. The stun comes in. He's going to continue to push. The nuke's knocking him right down low. And he manages to survive with, I think it was round about 60 HP there.
About 47 was what it went
47.
down to. Yeah. Okay. So, chugging health potions right now. Another cool thing I find really interesting is European players almost always open Doran's Ring on their casters, and all the US players go like Boots or Mana Crystal plus potions. So, if Reginald had gone actually Doran's Ring, he actually would have egged Anivia right there. Boots maybe getting out of range notwithstanding, the extra ability power that would actually dropped him down, but Anivia just rocking, tons of health potions, trying to get himself back up to a decent amount of health. It's kind of cool to see those little tweaks right there. I'm always intrigued by those kind of little changes.
And Reginald continues to scare Big Fat Lip away, trying to zone him out of the experience that he could possibly be getting.
Yeah, but he's just recalling back. Reginald, 19 minion kills, and Nivea with 6. So a large advantage to be gained there. But as we saw last game with CLG versus Gamed, even if he has double your minion kills, the team can still win. So Nivea's really all about the utility that she brings to the table. Certainly does some great damage, does scale quite well, but it looks like they're going to actually do a lane switch here. Hotchkiss, you're going to take mid against Reginald. They're going to put Anivia up against the Rain Man, up against this Jarvan right here. He's going to recall back, pick up a Philosopher's Stone, and maybe wait for Boots. Yep, Boots as well, so he's going to be in good shape here.
And Hotshot GG does have Boots and the Doran's Ring now, so building himself up that little bit extra. And he is actually same level as in terms of Reginald as well. Just going to continue to put in that pressure down there. TSM's lane has been pushed a decent amount down at the bottom as well, but that should be easy clean-up times for them. Obviously, only Sona is down there at the moment. Corky did go back and bought Boots, maybe. I didn't see what his first item was. I guess Doran's Blade first. Yeah, he opened Doran's Blade most likely, but he's picked up wards, potions, and Boots of Speed, so he's going to be in great shape there. Let's see these guys continue to last hit against this turret. It's going to be basically it's the test of skill. Oh, he's going to miss one right there, unfortunately. And yes, I am watching people last hit on the stream. That is what I do best. Meanwhile, there's actually some aggression in mid, so sure enough, if I'm watching last hits, there's probably a fight going on. Reginald versus Hotshot. Going to be a little bit of an advantage still for Reginald. He's doing pretty well. Looks like the aggression's going to come out. Ooh, nice harass there from Hotshot. Getting him lower and lower with Malefic Visions. Reginald now below half health. But the first to 6 is going to be the test of who gets the kill. Pretty much either of these champions can burst from full to dead at level 6, and that's what we're going to have to end up watching for. And it looks like it's Reginald, and his Flash and Ignite and Timbers were up. He could go for the giant damage output. We're not going to wait and charge up Pyromania for that stun, and it's going to be the waiting game right now. We actually see Warwick just coming around, who has both red and blue buff. So that's something they need to be careful of. He's actually only 1 level behind Reginald as well, so needs to be a little bit wary there of any of those middle ganks. There is 1 ward down, but that's actually on the CLG side. Down at the bottom, we've got a bit of action kicking off, and Elements is in all kinds of trouble trying to escape. Valkyrie comes out from Choster, and actually Elements will survive that one as well. Manages to get himself behind the turret and does stay alive. So a nice little push again from TSM, and I think they're finding it a little bit tough to have, you know, that extra power that you'd get from Alistair rather than, you know, a different type of support, for instance, Janna or Sona or Soraka, for example. Yeah, sure. Yeah, really aggressive supports I think are super powerful. We saw in the interviews of Gamed versus Zan where he's like, yeah, no, Tristana Sona is like the best aggressive lane in the game right now, I think. So, you know, we just run that a lot. And we saw that, you know, tons of damage coming out from that Tristana. Sona is a very offensive carry. She has that passive and the Q, which put out pretty consistent, you know, triple-digit damage numbers on each hit, and they're pretty low cooldowns, so she really can throw out a ton of damage, and of course Tristana able to play very aggressively. But of course this game is about Corky versus Vayne in the bottom lane with the supports to help, and looks like Nocturne is coming in to support as the Rayman's going to push in, gonna find Big Fat LP. Can he get the flag toss and the stun? Yes, he will, and here comes Nocturne, only level 5. There's the flash, but he's going to pick that one up, egg her inside the turret, and looks like they're not going to be able to push any farther down though, as that turret's going to keep her safe. She is back up and alive, but they've got about a 6-minute window then to push that one down again, and without the rebirth. KX still last hitting as best they can. Bottom lane, Warwick is level 6, can get a gank to happen, and this could be a very, very dead Annie. Same bitch is going for it. Here they come. There's a flash and the ult. Here comes tons of damage output. Flash goes out, but it won't. Oh, that's some damage output. Oh my god. Hello. Wow. 1 each still picked up. Great play there on both sides. Wow. Nice. I think ultimately a slight advantage for CLG. They got an assist on that kill, plus it was a higher level champion, but good job throwing back from Reginald. Managed to flash out into the turret and really baited Warwick into a really horrible situation. Did pick up that kill, but did die to Ignite, so you know, overall, you know, it's flash burned on both sides, but hey, that was pretty good overall from CLG, and they got control of mid lane, so they're really happy with how that went down, I think. Yeah, and we see down on the bottom lane, actually, CLG have warded up in their top bush, just to make sure that X-Special doesn't get into any of those annoying positions once again that we've seen him cause so much trouble in. In the middle lane, we saw the odd one who actually went and just finished off a little bit in the jungle before coming to keep this middle area safe, obviously with Reginald going down that little bit earlier on. Up on top, Big Fat LP, who of course was forced to use that rebirth after being taken down a little bit earlier on, is now back up and full HP. Rainman may just go for something a little bit different here, though, by the looks of things. Yeah, it looks like they're setting up for Dragon.
Well, you're right. Actually, yeah, Nocturne came down the bottom lane, dropped the ward, but he's still staying around there. Transfer put a ward down. They will see that. X-Special will not be able to kill that, and they're going for it right now. Actually, wow, this is really good because yeah, Big Fat LP is still far away. It looks like CLG will try to collapse. No, Warwick's not moving. Malzakar's coming down, but Warwick's still staying in the jungle. So it's going to be a free Dragon. Great job by TSM, just coming down. I think a bit of a mistake from CLG, but first Dragon of the game to Team Solomid. 2-1 in the kill score as well. They're up about 2,000 gold, so they've built themselves quite the advantage, actually. They might get themselves the 1-on-1 score in the group, which will make a four-way tie at 1-1, and it'll leave the third. Oh, here's the gank up the top. Sorry, missed that one entirely. Reginald versus Big Fat LP, and this is going great for Reginald. And, oh man, Big Fat LP gonna die to a turret. Great play there by Reginald, gonna get that kill for himself.
Yeah, just trying to get that wall off there to kind of get out of range of Vanny and just dive into the tower, but didn't quite work out as he wanted. And Reginald will pick up that kill. So it's 3-1 for TSM, and don't forget they lost their first game against Zan, so that was a bit of an upset for a lot of people. But TSM now know, the job that they need to do. They have to come into this game and beat CLG to make sure that they have. I mean, they still, even if they lose this one, still have a chance to go through. But this is an important one in terms of their placing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the pride, and it really is a seeding. TSM does not want to start out 0-2 because it means they have to beat game to stay alive, and they don't want to really be put in that situation. So right now they're putting themselves in a really great situation. They're up 2,000 gold. They're up 3-1. They have probably positioning for turrets pretty well, I think. Actually, they haven't done damage to anything but the bottom turret, so I take that one back. But Dragon control, better timing on it. Certainly, they're in a good situation right now.
And getting the pings going off down at the bottom there from TSM, but not really much going off. We may just see something kicking off at top. There is Warwick up in that top bush, so Nocturne and Rayman will have to be a little bit careful as they start to work in. Actually, Nocturne's just kind of waiting around for now.
Oh, he's going to wait for the ult onto Anivia.
Ulti, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna wait for Jarvan to catch a stun and he's gonna jump on him. But unfortunately, it looks like Anivia, well, unfortunately for TSM, Anivia's not gonna push in too hard. Kind of knows that something could be up. And Warwick, though, still waiting in the wings. This could be really bad for the Rain Man. He's still holding it on. The other Nocturne's there. He's gonna face check a brush against Warwick. This could be bad. Here comes the ultimate. Nocturne showing up as well, but Rain Man taking tons of damage. Can he pick up the kill? Yes, he can. And Odd One trying to run away. Gets the fear off on Warwick, but it's too late. 3-2 now the kill score. Great play by CLG, baiting that one out perfectly. And a Demacian should know about face-checking a brush. When you're on a team with Garen, you should know that brush hides things that do lots of damage.
And shout things when they do it.
They do, in fact. Well, Warwick not so much, but yeah, he certainly managed to make it work, though, regardless. Reginald now pushed back out of the way. Look at the minion counts real quick. 95, 84, the top two. 89, 72. A little bit of pressure down at bottom. Looks like they're going to be okay, though. Chester not getting a ton of pain onto himself yet. Now we'll try to probably last hit these minions up in front of the turret, getting some nice healing in from Elements, so he's going to be just fine right there. The SF tier that got us, I'm surprised he's not casting more spells. I guess he just wants that lane to be as pushed close to his turret as possible. Keep himself safe and in the comfort of structures. Looks like he'll be okay.
Well, top Jarvan having a little bit of time to push through, and looks like he may take a bit of a different route. Not sure who's. Okay, so that was actually CLG's Clairvoyance that spotted the Rayman moving down towards that middle area, and Hotshot GG, no surprise, he's actually hugging his tower. Won't be wanting to peek out of there much. X-Special also has a target on him, so not sure if they spotted him a little bit earlier as well.
Definitely does a ward right to his left. Right to his left, yes, proper English go. But especially going to come down. They might get another jump onto Chowster. Looks like they will not. He'll keep babysitting as KX will just spam last hits. Is the first one to 100. Doing good stuff there. And oh, there's the pressure in a little bit. Not getting a lot done still, though. So no kills quite yet at bottom lane. Mid lane still Andy Malzahar. Both players pretty much full of offense, though Doran's Wings and Catalyst will keep these players fairly healthy regardless. It is the minion game in bottom lane. Looks like Warwick coming around from the back again, doing a repeat performance of that sit and brush, find a face check, kill a guy. He's going to push through. Yep, he's going to camp there for now. This could be a great chance for him. His ultimate is up. Flash is not. And it's a total repeat. Nocturne's coming back over as well.
Let's see if Rain Man actually goes for it this time.
I'm going to laugh if he does. That'd just be hilarious to me. And wow, a lot of aggression coming in from Malzahar.
Actually, Warwick is starting to back away from that. Once again, the odd one with Nocturne just a little bit below. There you can see him on your screen. And we saw Warwick portal away as well, so that's no big deal up in that top lane anymore. Down at the bottom, TSM just placing a couple of wards, making sure that they're not going to get jumped out of that bush. And Corky went back by Manimoon.
Now, that's a pretty strong item. Okay, he's going to have a lot of attack damage now, finally. The really first big damage item. And the Star's actually going to go down almost. I think he's trying to bait Big Fat LP, and yeah, he's going to lose the turret, and no one's going to come in there. There we go. There's the darkness, and Odd One is in there. Big Fat LP has almost no mana, but a perfect wall and Flash going to keep him alive. I think it's a little bit unfortunate. They really could have gotten, I think, a little bit more done there, and managed to just not barely pick up those kills. But a great wall, though, from Big Fat LP. Did separate Nocturne away, managed to break the tether with Flash. That was definitely good positioning there of that wall. I just feel like that could have went a little bit better somehow. It feels like there's some way they could have gotten that kill.
Yeah, I mean, considering he's out of mana, that Flash was, you know, if that wall was slightly differently placed, it could have been a lot different of a story. Then he's definitely got no escape. Hotshot GG's actually come up to this top lane to farm it off. So maybe we'll see that swap here between Hotshot GG and Big Fat LP. Big Fat LP going back into the central lane.
Yep.
And it looks like we're going to see Dragon coming down once again for TSM. They need to be careful because Chaucer and Elements are around there. Big Fat LP is going to join in, and they may just go in for this one. That wall off from Anivia wasn't quite on the spot, and Xpecial does get away even before the Ice Blast lands as well.
Yeah, so a good defense there from CLG. They did push TSM back away from that Dragon, kept them from doing too much. Yeah, everyone pretty much walked away just barely safely, though Anivia, I guess if she had had Flash, could have flashed for a better wall and dropped them off a little bit more. Actually did not go movement speed boots. It's actually interesting because normally he actually goes movement 3 boots, but enough about those boots. We got a fight coming on here. They're going to push through onto this turret right now, and they're going to jump for it. They're going to find St. Vision. There comes the burst from Reginald. St. Vision is gone immediately. Chaos, though, ready to keep putting out damage. They will take this turret down. Alistair leading the way on that one. That is a dead turret. TSM now 4-2. Turret kills now equalized 21.5 to 18.8 thousand, so almost 3,000 gold up now. And they're again positioned for Dragon, and I think they're going to actually go for it this time. Looks like Alistair and Tipper's going to be the tanks for this time, and this is going to go really well for them. I don't think anyone's going to stop him. Yeah, very quick kill picked up there. Looks like CLG will not stop them. Hotshot GG, though, is nearby. They could pinch onto him. I just don't think it would quite work. So TSM building advantages, 3,000 gold up. They might find Hotshot. Looks like they won't quite. Big minion wave pushing at top. I don't think anyone's going to quite farm or ride that, so that'll kind of fizzle out. Hotshot's still waiting around on the wings, putting a lot of aggressive wards into the enemy jungle. That's going to be really good for him. It's going to help that team out quite a lot.
Yeah, Jovan finally will be the one to just go out and clear that top lane up. Get himself some free farm. And we've seen pings actually coming down, and CLG are going in and trying to steal that blue buff. We see obviously Anivia will be able to take that one and move away from this fight. Was it Anivia that took it, or was it Malzahar? Didn't quite spot who picked it up first. I didn't see who had the blue buff before, but we've seen wards going down around Baron area as well now. But the big push from TSM definitely starting to move towards this middle tower, especially there with the other one who's able to obviously clear out that big line at once. But TSM are headed up into that Northern River area, pinging over towards Baron as well. And they do have the Oracle on Alistair, which is going to make a big difference for them, able to clear stuff out. And let me check Sona. No Oracle's Elixir for Sona just yet. So that's going to give TSM a nice bit of ward coverage and remove the sight from CLG.
Yeah, this is looking really, really good for TSM right now. They really want to fight in the river or around here. The avenues are big enough that Anivia's wall cannot block them off. If they fight in the jungle, if they fight maybe around here or down in here, Anivia's wall can completely screw up a team fight. And so can, the zone control of Malzahar and things like that. But if you fight in this area, except for this choke right here, Anivia can't really block off much. You have this entire big avenue that, rank 2 or so of wall really won't stop you. And you can also get around Malzahar's spells as well. So they would really love to fight in the river. Team Solomid would. And CLG really wants to pull them into the jungle. And that's going to be really every single one of these fights, no matter how far ahead either team gets, unless it's like 17-0 and 20,000 gold advantage. The fights will always be decided by positioning. The players are good enough and the champions are lined up well enough against each other that it's going to be entirely positioning based. Because champions like Anivia scale, and Malzahar as well, scale so much off of what is the position of this battle, who's going to do the most damage, who's going to get separated, and who's going to take all the burst. And so Chaster's doing a great job of getting rid of a lot of these minions, hoping to keep that turret alive, but it's not going to be enough. TSM will pick up their second turret kill of the game, matching up with CLG, but looks like they're going to jump back into this jungle, try to find something to kill, but they'll be okay for now, actually. No one's going to really engage onto them.
Well, if we look at the levels over with TSM, you've got Reginald Daniel 13, Jarvan 11, Vayne 11, over on the side Hotshot GG 13, Big Fat LP 12, and the rest 10, obviously. Sona got 8 as well, so fairly even stuff there. Obviously a bit of an advantage probably over towards CLG, who are once again just farming up in this middle area, making sure there's not too many minions pushing onto this middle turret. And Jarvan's going to get another load of free farm actually down the bottom, which will get him up towards the levels of the likes of Big Fat LP and Hotshot GG.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about tanky DPS champions. They really, really, really scale with levels. They, they want the attack damage of their basic attacks, but they gain health, armor, and magic resist just on leveling up. So they can become really unkillable if they're the highest level champions in the games. That's why they solo top so often, is that they get beefy just from staying around and gaining those levels. They get really, really hard to kill. And the only way to really kill them is you get like super farmed mages or ranged carries who just have so many items that they can just overpower anything else in the game. And it's kind of an arms race of damage versus durability, and you're going to see Rain Man constantly just spam out the big beefy items. He's got the Philosopher's Stone, 2 Hearts of Gold, Mercury Treads, 60 armor, 83 magic resist, just getting really just big and strong in this game. And he's really going to be the main force of initiation. He and Alistair have to really get in there and just block out the enemy team. Both of them do have area of effect knockups. They can really just crush, the openers in these battles, but they have to survive the rest of that. Alistair at least has the ultimate, so if he gets into a bad situation, pops R, he's going to be all right. But Jarvan's going to jump in there and then rely on his own stats, and that's really the breaking point there. Is does your Jarvan get farmed? Is he going to be unkillable? And TSM again going for Baron.
Yeah, started to move in there. They did clear a ward out of the back, but you can see the kind of damage that it's doing to them at this level, and they will start to push away. We saw a ward drop down actually by Warwick into the back of Baron once again, that ward that was cleared out just a few moments ago. Both teams really playing quite, defensively, not going for any silly pushes, just making sure that they keep it safe, getting their levels up to scratch. And I guess we'll maybe see a next fight around Dragon at some point. Don't remember exactly when the last one was taken, to be honest.
It shouldn't be too far away, actually. I'm estimating about 2 minutes, maybe 1. I've kind of lost track of time a little bit here. I've seen a lot of dragons die over the course of time, but yeah, it shouldn't be that far away. They cleaned it up, a decent amount of time ago. So TSM might be getting ready to time that. CLG certainly trying to push their way around in mid. They still have that golem buff on Anivia. They really want to use that because right now there is only a lizard buff as far as buffs are concerned on Team Solomid, so they really want to do something. And great positioning, they're going to jump onto everyone, but great CC's coming up from Malzahar, going to knock out that Malzahar ultimate. Looks like Nocturne not going to jump into a fight though. They've broken the focus from Hotshot GG, and that did save the Rain Man as he was going to get just crushed right there. And Reginald jumping into that fight, and there is the egg for Big Fat LP. Sona Dance comes out. Looks like Anivia's going to drop first. Warwick now the next one to die, and he's getting into bad shape. Jarvan jumps onto Malzahar. Malzahar getting hurt really badly. Look at that damage output Sona the next one up, and that is a 4-0 kill score right there. TSM completely crushing that fight, and they're going to move on to Baron right away, and only Chowster is alive. Yeah, that's right. A round of applause. Great fight from TSM.
That really looked like a kind of flip switch moment there from TSM. I mean, with CLG were putting all the pressure on, then TSM come in there and, well, really do a great bit of damage. Actually, Chaucer's in there behind them, causing all kinds of problems. Reginald taking damage, and actually we're going to see Chaucer dive in here. What's he going to do? He will actually fall before he's able to take anyone down. But obviously we saw Jarvan low. Nocturne, everyone except Vayne, I think, was low in that little encounter. Yeah. And obviously, Alistair just coming back into play as well. But that was nicely done, actually, from Chaucer to keep them from getting that Baron.
Yeah, I think he had a little bit more time, though. I think, you know, they did have a clairvoyance. He did have a couple of those rockets out there. I think he had the ability to sort of wait another 4 or 5 seconds, maybe wait for another cooldown. If he had another phosphorus bomb, for example, he would have killed Jarvan. He would have killed him before he got knocked up by that flag toss combo, and he would have, you know, been less CC'd, probably had a chance to keep going for this. But CLG, you know, they did give away 1 kill on that one, but it means that they got positioning for Dragon. They're going to get Dragon very, very well. So, you know, in the end, you're right. It worked out really well for him. Because, yeah, you know, it sucks that Chowster died. You know, sad face there, but they didn't prevent Baron, and because they forced them all back, they did get the Dragon there, and that did respawn in that sort of near future time frame. So that's going to pull them back a little bit. 33 versus 27,000, still a good 10% advantage, but actually, sorry, more like 20% advantage. That's actually pretty significant. The levels 14, 12, 15, those are pretty strong, but 13, 13, 13, 14. Yeah, TSM is just a little bit ahead in most of these major metrics. I think it can still go either way again, like I said. No matter how big the farm advantages are on either side, it's really about who can get positioning in the crowd control. The last major fight we saw, Alistair broke up Malzahar's ultimate, and that just meant nothing could really happen. And then, you know, we saw TSM win a fight, but then CLG, you know, pushed them back and got a Dragon. You know, things are going to go back and forth this entire game.
Well, Special has just portaled back home. See what he ends up getting there with him. And the rest of CLG, again, are starting to work a little bit further down towards that middle area, which, you know, kind of a similar situation that we saw last time. TSM stood on this turret and CLG just trying to poke out there, and at some point TSM just decided, okay, this is going to be a good time for us, we're going to hit it right now. And now we'll see what happens in this situation, because CLG are putting that poke out onto this turret, doing as much damage as they physically can. They are all 5 guys actually still around that area, so it's definitely doable. There are 4 for TSM. Reginald just tucked away in the corner just underneath the turret. But still CLG are hanging on. It looks like they may move away. The blue buff is actually up now on the TSM side, so maybe CLG will be able to steal that one away. Yep, they will. Yeah, good job by CLG. I don't know if they had it timed or if they just sort of... They had the marker cleared, of course, but actually they killed the last golem, so yeah, they did have it timed themselves. They probably would have called that out in chat and said, okay, golem's coming up at this point, let's, you know, give that to Hot Shot, and he's going to be, you know, nice and beefy now. He's got the Rod of Ages, he's got Sword Shoes as well. He's going to be nice and damaging here. But TSM going to go for a push in mid. This might turn into a base race. I think it's a base race that CLG could win there. They've already killed that first turret, and they're going to go for it. Yeah, Jarvan's going to be up in the front, and here comes the first turret. Probably going to go down, and TSM, yeah, they got 1 turret kill. CLG doesn't care. They're going to ride this next minion wave, and wow, we have a legit base race coming in. Looks like TSM Special going to come back into this battle. Unfortunately, he had DC'd a little bit. I'm not quite sure what's happening there, but Big Fat LP gets the credit for the kill, and looks like actually TSM will recall back, so that trade was actually really good for CLG. They got a more important turret kill, and they're still pushing in right now. Actually, they're still doing some great things here. TSM should be ready for this, but a great Anivia wall going to keep the initiate from happening at all. They get away scot-free. They got about half the damage that they needed onto this turret. That is wonderful for them. We're going to see the Rain Man as he chases through. They do know that CLG is up in the top right of the map. They're going to keep going through on this, but Sona gives a lot of moves to the team. This probably is not going to work too well for TSM to chase this one down. Yeah, they are starting to move to, obviously that first middle turret is downed, and are TSM going to continue to push this one? That's what we're going to find out.
It looks like they are, actually. At least they want to push the lane out and shove it, because both teams going to steal the golem. The CLG's golem is back up, actually, so TSM could go for a grab. They have pinged it. Oh no, CLG pinged it, so CLG kind of knows TSM's here. They could get caught if they're not careful.
Yeah, I think this blue buff is done with, and it will go to Reginald. Yep.
Picks that one up.
Where's the next target? Yeah, this
right-hand side base.
Top turret there. This bottom turret actually is a pretty good target. I mean, Rayman can probably tank it at that kind of situation. I mean, it's around about half HP anyway.
Which looks like a lot of damage.
Decide not to. Yeah, and they're going to
because
push away.
got too aggressive. He's forced to push back. Down to half health due to 2 turret shots. I think it was just a really bad crippling mistake.
Look at Corky.
Oh yeah, nice. Wow. Nice by CLG. They know they can win a 4v4. This is a beautiful play. You're watching. Nocturne's going to jump into that fight. Here we go. He is on to Elements, but he's going to back off right away. The inhibi wall is good. CLG will disengage quite successfully. Rainman going to jump in there. He will not ult though, so CLG going to get free pushes in from Corky. He will drop this turret for free. I say that 3 times in the same sentence. He has gotten the turret kill. TSM still trying to push in, but Reginald getting lower and lower, and there's still, counter initiate comes in here. There's a stun. Wow! One's dead already. They've egged Big Fat LP. Hotshot GG going to drop down as well to Jarvan. This is going to be good on this Nibby egg special. Super low. Can they drop him down? No. He will die, and Big Fat LP going to be okay. Nocturne going to chase around Corky in the bottom of the map, but he's going to find KX. KX will drop the Big Fat LP. Now what can St. Vicious do? Can they drop down the Rain Man? Well, Wall's going to help. He's going to still push on Big Fat LP. He's getting quite low. One more spell and he's going to get this kill. And there's a flag toss, and that is the kill. Now, can he run from St. Vicious? The shield is good. He's going to keep running away. Corky's going to come around from the side, though. Off to the left. Rayman's still trying to run. He has, I believe, ghosted. And the jump across the wall will keep him alive for now. But I don't know if he's going to make it. He's going to try to suicide to a turret, I think. And he might get to... Oh, no!
The shield kept him alive.
The shield kept him alive and gave away the suicide. That's a little bit silly.
A little bit unlucky as well. I mean, there must have been really no health left on him at the end. But.
Oh, no. So, all right, well... I don't even know who ended up winning that fight, really. It was like a chain of kills, one after the other for about 5 minutes straight.
Well, I think the main point from CLG's point of view was, they had Corky pushing down on that top lane, managed to take out that inner turret, so that's something, and that inhibitor now going to be open for them to be pushing onto a little bit later on. It'll force TSM to probably stay a little bit more defensive just to make sure they don't overextend themselves, as both teams starting to ward up around that Baron area once again. Scoreline in terms of kills, 12-6 still for TSM, and a good 5k almost, in fact more than, in terms of gold for TSM, and they're actually 1 turret behind as well, so looking good so far. Actually, Dragon is up right now, and there is a ward down there for TSM, so they should be able to figure that stuff out, and maybe we'll see them push over there in a little while. They did ping over onto the turret on the bottom lane. Yeah, it's got 71 HP left.
That is a very low turret, but if they go for it, they're going to give away positioning on the Baron right now. If TSM moves over to the right-hand side, they can't really defend Baron 4v5. St. Vicious and Hotshot GG both, and Chowster as well. The 3 of them are really, really good at killing Baron. Chowster, though, seemingly kind of under-farmed. He's got a lot of minions, but not a lot of champion kills, even though he's the most minion kills in the game. Does not have the Trinity Force yet. We're half an hour in, and he's not really gotten the zeal or to finish that Triforce, so it's a little bit behind, I feel. CLG could go for the 3rd straight Golem steal, but I guess they're afraid as TSM all in the Fog of War for the most part, or nearby, so CLG a little bit afraid, and yeah, TSM's going to pick up the Golem finally, the 3rd straight attempt, and they finally get this one for themselves. That's going to be Annie with infinite mana and low cooldowns. She's going to be happy about that. And the minions, though... Wait, where was that one? A blue turret. I completely spaced on what turret just died. I think that was bottom. I think that was minions just chain pushing down through bottom, doing a good job there. Element's doing nice work here. He's got the oracles. He's clearing out these wards across the map. Has cleared the river. Look at the ward control right now, and it's zero wards for Solomid. Literally just none. They have almost no vision of anything. Look at CLG, and they've got 2 on the top river, 1 at the bottom river. They could probably plant some more aggressively pretty soon. Their waves are pretty pushed. They have just much better overall map vision, and that is a good thing for them. It's a very good thing for them.
Yeah, there's just this one from TSM that's just across on Baron, which may just give some stuff away for them. But at the moment, obviously, that Dragon was it taken?
No, it's up.
No, it's still up, right?
Yeah.
They came off it because CLG were moving over towards the Baron area.
Yeah.
And yeah, Elements just scouting around that area, and we'll surely see this one. Yep. So that's all wards away from Baron from TSM, and that will make them move into this area and try to ward it up again, or at least keep an eye out on what's going on and make sure that CLG aren't doing that Baron right under their noses. And still the minions are pushing down on this bottom lane, which obviously is now down to just the inhibitor. Sorry, the top lane.
Yep. But it's pushed so far down, it's kind of like the bottom, right? It's sort of at the bottom half of the map. So
kind of the bottom,
I do that like 8 times a day, don't worry. I totally screwed that one up too. But CLG doing some good work, dropping again these wards, although that one's down on the left-hand side has not gotten spotted, so, you know, that's too bad. But CLG just going to crush down on some minions some more. Corki just farming these guys out. Looks like TSM, though, getting ready to push through. Looks like Jarvan again leading the way around, and he's not found any wards. Yeah, they know that CLG does not ward it inside of Baron. They do force a clairvoyance there because of that. They back off, and they're going to find another ward in this brush here, as long as they're paying attention. And they are, so quick ward kill there. Good play by TSM. Taking down a lot of that ward control, but blue buff, Anivia, scary thing.
Yeah, definitely going to be somewhat of a problem, I think, in the upcoming moments for TSM. And TSM are pinging River once again, so they seem to be in a real confident state for going in for this Baron. There is a ward in at the back which has not been checked out just yet. Won't matter too much now because obviously they've been spotted in there. There goes the wall from Anivia. Baron is down to half HP. The rest of CLG are starting to work their way in. There we go. We actually see the ultimate coming out from the odd one. Nice little bit of engage, but actually Warwick jumped in there. He's going to ulti onto Reginald. Is Reginald going to survive? Certainly looks that way. Warwick will go down. There goes the engage over at the other side. Element's trying to move away. Out comes Rainman, actually. Will flash himself over there to get into a fighting position. And TSM have come out on top of this one nicely, 2-0.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw Chowster run towards the bottom of the lane to farm, I was like, you're going to give away Baron. And it forced CLG to start a fight they didn't really want to start. They got initiated on, they had a good Sona ultimate, but they were all still so low, and the burst from Andy was massive. St. Vicious was in terrible positioning, actually flashed over the Baron wall here and came around the back into a 1v5, basically. CLG had to filter through this tiny choke point right here, which is not something they wanted to do against a pretty strong area denial team. You consider, you know, Tibbers from Reginald, Rayman with the AoE knockup, especially with the AoE knockup as well. Yeah, they got terrible positioning there, and that was just a horrible fight. They lost 2, and TSM gaining a slightly larger advantage over time as that goes through. So 14-6 that score, and this is going to be 1-1 on both these teams, and that's going to be a scary thing to deal with.
Yep, Baron as well going over 4k gold the difference. 2 turret advantage over towards CLG, and they're actually all portaling back now, so I guess we're going to be starting to set up for a real Baron push.
They might, yeah. Although TSM's still at the bottom of the map, and he's farming at bottom lane. You can see just how much gold she's gaining. You see all the gold ticks just show up on the screen. I guess they know pretty well that CLG is not quite ready to take that down, so they feel pretty safe so far. Corki's going to push towards the top. He does have Trinity Force Find, and that's going to be a big pickup for him. I think he already had it in the last fight, considering the rest of his items right now, but he's going to farm a lot of gold for himself. That'll be fine. Warwick going to take down a lot of damage. Hotshot GG going to push down mid lane as well, but Annie can stop that pretty easily with Incinerate. That's going to be just fine. Let's see.
Just checking every inch of the river there, except apparently the inch which actually does have a ward in it. There we go.
And it has found a ward. There we go. Good for them. So Rayman actually with an interesting build, almost entirely magic as his stock. You look at this and he's got, you know, the 2 turtle shells, but he's got Force of Nature and Quicksilver Sash. Really afraid of Malzahar and Warwick ultimates. We can see that the rest of the team, though, does not have one, so he's the only one with the Quicksilver. Looks like Nocturne might pick one up next, though. He's already got, actually, no, that's probably just Banshee's Veil. He's got Catalyst plus that Negatron Cloak. But Rayman's super MR is stacked right now. That's really all he's worried about. So Reginald going to farm this Golem down, pick up blue buff. Infinite Mana Annie with a lot of cooldowns. It's a good thing to have.
And we're not so far away from hitting the 40-minute mark, and I'd say the last 15, maybe even 20 minutes have been very kind of standoffish. We've seen a couple of team fights, but obviously one of which was the 4-on-5 on the bottom lane, where Corki was already pushing the top lane down to its inhibitor. Since then, bit of pushing here, there, and everywhere. That one around Baron. But other than that, it's been fairly quiet. Both teams farming their way up towards that 18 level. And actually no one for TSM there just yet, but Anivia and Corky both 18 over for CLG.
Yeah, and HotShotGG already level 17 as well. Now there are a pair of 17s and a pair of 16s in from TSM, so they are not at all far behind. Special though, only 13. And looks like we might get an initiate coming on pretty soon. The Rayman jumping through has found at least a ward. Anivia's going to zone them back there with the Flash Frost. And yeah, TSM is going to back off for now, but they are just only a screen apart. Solomid is standing on a ward, so they know he's there, and they're going to come around the backhand side. They've been clairvoyants, but still, they're camping a brush, and it's going to be go time pretty soon. Looks like Cow's going to lead the way down the map. They can't quite pinch on that turret, but they can push top tower. That's going to be really good for TSM right there. They're going to group up, and that top turret's going to go down pretty easily. That gets just crushed down right there. Should be an easy kill for these guys. Yep, turret is picked up. A lot of gold, nice stuff there. They're going to keep moving on. And wow, Corky's been backdooring top lane in the meantime, so it's a 5v4. And Corky might be able to do a lot of work there, but HotShotGG getting picked up almost immediately. Nocturne will get that kill, but he's in the middle of the enemy team. St. Vicious getting jumped on by Jarvan. Full flash backwards. He's going to be maybe okay. No, Vayne will crush that kill. Alistair putting out tons of damage. Big Fat LP going to get egged right there.
Amazing.
And ow. 4 kills for nothing. Chaucer's backdoor didn't get the inhibitor. He's going to recall, but this could be the base for it. TSM in wonderful shape right now.
Yeah, certainly. First one up is 25 seconds, so are they going to go for Corky, who just Valkyries away? First Nexus turret is going to go down, second one will fall shortly, and I think TSM aren't going to particularly care about this one, especially just headbutting him away. They're going to focus in on the Nexus, and it will be TSM who pick up their first victory here in round B, in Group B, over a big rival for them, CLG.
Wow, nice job for them. Yeah, so the entire Group B is 1-1. Entirety of Group B 1-1. So it's down to RiotGames versus Zan and TSM versus Game, which will determine everything. It could go anywhere. The entire team went in a big circle of wins pretty much. Could go anywhere.
What's your idea of how it's gonna go, Freak? I mean, you look at those last two games, Solomid. So yeah, the last game is CLG versus Zan and Solomid versus Gamed.
Yeah, so I think Solomid is ready for Gamed. Solomid did the research before these matches started. They said, you know, we know what we're going to pick and ban against these guys. So I think TSM is actually ready versus Gamed. And we saw them put this game on here. They did a wonderful job. I think TSM can beat Gamed. I think, you know, they did so well against CLG. And I think they've got this one. So I think TSM's going to win. CLG against Zan, honestly, I don't know, because CLG always wins when it counts, but they also get upset. And so we're going to show both games. We're going to make sure we show both because these matter so very much, right? We're not going to play them concurrently, so we'll sub out. We're going to have Rivington and Dan Klein and you know, Xenon going to be here. We're going to come back for the last game as well. I don't know which one's up next, but both these matter a lot. But I'm predicting. Okay, so we're going to do Zan versus CLG next. They're going to be the next ones up. I predict a Zan victory there. CLG wins when it counts, but they also get upset a lot. But I'm predicting TSM winning over Game. That's what I think is going to happen.
Well, we're going to find out here in, I guess, not so long. Yeah, both of these games, if you're looking at League of Legends website and you were thinking, oh, you know, they're both at the same time. Well, we're going to stay here that little bit longer for you here at DreamHack and bring you both games. Why not? Let's separate them out, bring you all the action.
And right now we're going to bring you the interviews of the players from after the game, so let's shoot it over to them.
Hello, everybody out there. We just watched an epic game from CLG and TSM, a game that, you know, all of America and North America was really anticipating, so it was really fun for us to watch. Can you introduce yourselves to everybody watching and who you played?
I'm St. Vicious. I played Warwick last game, and yeah.
And what are your thoughts?
We just really got caught out of position. We gambled with a split push, and it didn't really pay off because Hotshot got caught. He was too far up, so that pretty much set into the game for us. So.
Was there anything you wish you may have done differently?
Hotshot just pretty much overextended. That was all it was. Like, I think we overall played like a good game. It could have gone to either person. We gambled, and we lost on the gamble, so. That's all it really was.
And there was a lot of activity around Baron. There was a lot of baiting and like fighting. Like was that a particular strategy you guys had for all the fighting around that area, or?
I mean, Baron, once it gets to a stalemate like that, I mean, there's no real way around it. Baron's going to decide who's going to win the game on that. Baron decides it. So if you get caught at Baron, you lose it. But if you give him Baron, you lose it. So either way, it's a big gamble too.
Cool. And any last thoughts?
Nah, I don't have any. I'm good.
All right. Thank you so much. And can you introduce yourself and who you played?
I'm Reginald from Team Solomid, and I played Annie that game.
Cool. And you had a pretty epic Tibber stun under the tower. Can you describe that moment?
Well, that game, everything was on the line because that was basically our final match for the tournament, and if we didn't win, we would have been out of the tournament. So I was like, all right, we made a decision. Everyone agreed, so I'm going to do it and go in. And it resulted in victory, so I'm really happy for that.
Yeah, it was really great. I mean, that definitely showed through. I think we all saw the fighting spirit with you guys. Even though the game was, pretty close there, you guys were pushing pretty aggressively on both sides. So it was really exciting for us to watch. What were you thinking going into that match? You guys know the other team pretty well. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, every single time we play CLG, it's like a rivalry, and we always try our hardest. Like, the problem we have with other teams is we take them too lightly, but whenever it's CLG, there's always pride on the line, there's everything on the line, and we've been a rivaling team for so long that when we go and play them, it's always going to be our best.
Right, and so you've obviously studied them for a very long time, too.
Spent a lot of time studying them, and we definitely talked about the picks and spent time, rather than just rushing into the game without thinking and just playing the game. We gave it a lot of thought. A lot of thought.
Right, and so given that you've researched them a lot, was there anything they pulled out that really surprised you during that match?
I actually was really surprised when they decided to run double AP. I mean, they're going towards more of the European style, and us in Epic Gaming, since we scrim a lot and play a lot together, because we've been practicing for many weeks for this tournament, we kind of stick to the North American style still, the old school style, and it's doing well for us, so we're just going to stick with it till we find something better.
Great. Well, very excited to watch your next match. Thank you very much. And I believe now we're going to a commercial break, so stick around.